What's up, guys? We're going to be doing a lab. It's going to deal with this buggy cart right here. So get ready. What I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you make some observations about this buggy cart as it drives across the table. And I'm going to have you put those up in the question that's going to pop up here in just a little while. And so you'll be ready for that. So let's get to it. This buggy cart, all this does is ride across the stage. So check out what's going on with that. Here we go. It's going to ride right across the table. That is all it does. We're just going to get started talking about some of the motion of this car. Only things I want to point out here are that this thing kind of travels at a constant speed. So that's what we're looking at. It also can be, other things can be measured about it. We're going to talk about a couple of those things, so stay tuned. And the thing that we want to talk about is the position of this car. We want to know where this car is at all times. So if it's here, if it's over there, if it's back here. And as it rolls across the table, we want to kind of keep track of where it's at every so often at a consistent time interval or a consistent clock reading time. So not just a running clock a time. We want to know, like, at every 1 second, where's it at? At every 2 seconds, where's it at? Something like that. So we want to know the position of the car as it moves across. And we're going to graph those. And it's going to be kind of position versus time. So that's what we're going to do. Stay tuned. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. And then we're going to be we're going to take some data for the lab. All right, we're back. I've got the buggy cart. I've got everything set up. We're going to measure the position and the time of this thing. I'm going to need a stopwatch, so let me grab that on my phone here. We're going to mark the position of this thing, I believe, every 1 second. That should work pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to do every 1 second, and then we're going to let this go across. The first thing, the very most important thing, is I need to know where I'm measuring from, because I'm going to measure position. And position needs to be measured from a starting point. So I've marked with some nice green frog tape here on the desk. The starting point. So my car's going to start there. It's going to travel across the table, and I'm going to mark it. I've got some tape here, as you can see. I'm going to mark it every 1 second as it goes across the table. All right, it's going to be kind of fast, and if you were in school right now, you'd be marking it on the floor, and I'm going to do every 1 second on the table. You probably do every 2 seconds because the car, this one's actually kind of slow, but the other cars are kind of fast. But whatever, we're going to mark it at 1 second, so take a look at this. I'm going to hit start. I'm going to let the car go, and we're going to go from there. I'm going to try to do this. We'll see if this can do it in one take. Here we go. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was super fast. I don't know what I was thinking there, but we got some data. We've got some marks here on the table. I'll show you what that looks like. Well, you can see it, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from the beginning to the position of each of these pieces of tape. And I know that they're 1 second apart. So I know that this is 1 second, 2 second, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it's hard to do, and it was hard to get the points on there, but I think I did a pretty good job. I'm going to measure them real quick, and then we'll get back. All right, so I've laid out my tape measure. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of write down or jot down these things, and I'm going to put them into Desmos in a minute, and we're going to work through there. So I'm measuring position, remember, so zero's over here. My first one, usually I'd have you guys do this in meters or centimeters, but I've got my tape measure, it's in inches. So I've got one at about 8 inches, one at 16 and a quarter, one at 22, 27 and a half, and so on. So I'm going to read those off. I'll show you them in the table. But that's what we're collecting here. We're collecting, these are position data. Position data, and I have time data. Position at 1 second, position at 2 seconds, position at 3, and so on. And so we're going to put this into a graph. It's going to be position time. Let's talk independent and dependent variable, right? What did I sit around and actually measure? All right, what did I measure? I measured the position. So that's going to be which variable? Write that down. The other thing is I was able to set and tell it how many seconds where I wanted to mark. So that would be which variable. And you're going to write that down in the notes here. So we'll see you in a minute. I'm going to switch over and we're going to get some footage of graphing this and doing the graphical analysis. See ya. Alright guys, here we are on Desmos. I got like a big screen up here, so I'm going to put all that in. That's what you can see. So if I'm looking up there, that's what's happening. We have, I got my Desmos graph. I need to name it something first, and that's what I need to do right now. So I'm going to name this graph Buggy Lab. That's a good name. That's what it is. When you turn it in, you can do that. Just name it there. You might want to do, I'm going to do Buggy Lab 1 just so that it says 1 on the thing, because we might do more of these. Alright, I'm going to add a table. There's the add item, add a table. I'm going to start putting my stuff in. And now we talked about what was what, which one was the independent variable, which one's dependent. One goes on the X, one goes on the Y. On the Y, I want my variable that I measured. So I'm going to put position up there. I'm going to do capital P for position. And then I have the time on the, oops, I got those backwards. I'm so dumb. Alright, here we go. Position, time. There we go. Alright, so I got my times here. I know what those are. I got 0, because, yeah, we started at 0. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't remember what I did. At least 7. I might have done 8, so I'll put 8 in there. We'll see. And I got my positions that I'm going to add in. I put them, I recorded them right here, made a note of them, and so I'm going to plug those in right now. And these are in inches, so that's kind of the difference here, because we usually do them in centimeters, so I'm just going to put them in inches. Bear with me while I enter those in, and then we'll get back to it here in just a second. Alright, as you can see, I've got all of my data put in. I can scroll down a little bit for you so that you can see all of it. It's not all, there you go, so you got all the data right there. I'm going to post this for the assignment. I'll post the actual data so you guys can just copy and paste it if you need to. Your task for the rest of this lab is to, there's going to be some questions that you need to answer in a Google form, like a follow-up like we did last time. Pretty much the same questions, a little bit more in depth we're going to get from there. But notice real quick that just some Desmos skills. I see my first point right here, but I really want to see all of them. And so what I can do to see all of them, I can hit home to default, but if I go to graphical settings, I need to change some stuff here. I need to change my x-axis. I don't need to go negative on either axis really that much. So I'm just going to put -1 on each of those to start with. So kind of changing my axes. My x-axis, that is the time. The time to 10 seconds. That sounds about right. My distance here, the position goes all the way up to like 43 inches. So I need to go higher than this. So let's just go up to 50 and see how that looks. That looks great. Don't forget to add labels. We've got on the x-axis, we have time, and that is in seconds. And we have on here, we have what we're going to call position, and that is in inches. So I'm going to add those on there as well so we can kind of see what's happening. So now I see my graph. It looks good. I got the line. The points are making what looks like a line. I got my position in inches, and I got the time in seconds down here. On the axis, you can see all 7 points or 8 points from there. So you're going to put the best fit line on there. You're going to find out what that equation is, and then we're going to do some interpretation as the follow-up. That is the lab. That's all we've got for now. And just answer the questions, and you guys should be good to go. See ya.